So welcome to the answer key for test two. So for the first question, Mia deposits $4,000, okay, Australian dollars into a bank. The bank pays a nominal interest rate of 6%, so that's our rate, and it's compounded semi-annually. So if something happens semi-annually, then the number of periods is going to be 2. That happens twice a year. So the K is equal to 2. All right. So when you are doing this there's two ways to do this. One using the formula. The second way is using TVM solver. So let me just go ahead and show you how to do that. So how did I get here? So you hit apps. Option number 1 is finance. Option number 1 is TVM solver, and this is where you put in your information. So how did I get n equals 5, right? So find the amount of interest that Mia will earn over the next 2.5 years. Remember that it's compounding semi-annually, so 2.5 times 2. This number right here is 2.5 times 2, and that's 5. The interest rate is 6%. The present value is $4,000 or Australian dollars. We don't know the payment. We're not concerned with that. The future value is what the calculator is going to help us find. The periods per year and the compounded periods per year is 2 for both of those. And so now all you have to do to get the calculator to tell you what the answer is for this is you hit alpha and solve. And it'll give you negative 46.37. And if you round this is about 10 cents. So fine, this is going to be 46.37.10. And if you look at the question says to us, what is the interest? Find the amount of interest, right? So 46.37, we have to subtract the original 4,000 that she deposited in. So that leaves us with $637.10 this is Australian dollars. So that's the amount of interest that she is going to be given. I'll put AUD because Australian dollars. All right, so very similar thing for the next part. I'm going to pause it and go ahead and put it into my calculator. All right, so for part B, if we take a look at part B of the question, there is a slightly different scenarios. There's a new interest rate. If you look, Ella deposits Australian dollars. It doesn't say how much he deposits. The interest rate is now 4% and it's compounded monthly, right? So our K is going to equal 12, right? There's 12 months in a year, and this is 2.5 years. So that's important. The total amount in Ella's account will be 4,000 US dollars, well, Australian dollars. So what I did is I went ahead and how I got this 30 is I did 12 times 2.5. So that's 30. The interest rate is 4%. Payments, again, we don't know. Future value is now 4,000. Uh, periods per year and compounded periods per year is 12. And then you do the alpha solve and you get 36.19, 95 Australian dollars. So for part B, we have 36.19.95 Australian dollars. Right. Australian dollars, and this is our answer for part B. Right. All right, so for the next question. So marketing director, So we have a set of values here. So we did go over this in class just to refresh your memory, but you do need to hit mode and you need to turn the diagnostics on. So if you haven't done that, please do that. And you just hit enter right here, and then we're going to quit out of this. And we're going to go ahead under stat and put our numbers in to L1 and L2. Please make sure that you're typing the numbers in correctly. That was a common mistake that I saw. All right, so we have the numbers that we plugged into stat edit, and the numbers are right there. And then the next thing you want to do is go to stat, go over to calc, and it's option number 4 for linreg, ax plus b. I don't know if you all know this, but you could take this right here because we're going to use it later on for this part right here. We could take our regression equation and we can store it in for y. So how you do that is you hit vars, you go over to y bars. Option number 1 is with a function, hit enter, and now what happens is it calculates the correlation coefficient for you, which R is 0.924. So there is our correlation coefficient, 0.924. And the next thing it does is it gives you the linear regression line. So if I go back to the calculator, so I have our A is 0.0495, right? We have to go 3 significant figures. Common mistake here, equation has to have an equal sign, so y equals. So you have 0.0495, please round correctly, x, and then it's minus, if I look back over here, 1.77, right? That's a negative sign. So negative 1.77 works. So negative 1.77. And there's your equation for the regression. Okay. So now what do we have to do? It says, so marketing director decides to spend 70,000 US dollars on advertisement. And if you take a look, it says, use the regression to estimate the number of tickets to SeaWorld sold next month. So the biggest thing that you need to see, if you take a look over here, is, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so right here. So this is, this is the number of tickets sold in thousands, and this is advertising costs in thousands. So our variable that we're plugging in here, our x, is we're plugging in x equals 70, okay, into our regression equation. So all we have to do that is let's let the calculator do it for us, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and hit second and table. And if you go ahead and put y equals, this is the actual, the whole equation itself, instead of you having to sit there and type it in, because like you see how it keeps on going. So the calculator will figure that part out for you. So all you have to do is at this point hit second and window, which is table set, and we want to go to the number 70. So second table set or second window, and put the number 70 in there. And now if you hit the graph, we can't see 70, we know that, but if you go to second graph, which is a table, now we have our number, which is about 1.69. So across from 70, there's going to be about 1.69. And so if we take this number and we're going to, remember we have to say that this is thousands. So this is about 1690 tickets. 1690 tickets. You could say it's about 1700, because the word about is there. Okay. I was surprised at how many people got that one. We got stuck on that. So for this one, next one right here, we have a chart right here. So for the first part right here, I saw a lot of people get this correct. So what's the probability that it is a male? So there are 32 males 32 males out of 65 altogether. You could have left your answer like that, or you could have said 0.492. Either answer is acceptable. It is a Persian female. So Persian, right? Female is, there are 5 of them. 5 Persian females out of 65 cats altogether. And if you put this into the calculator, you're going to get 0.0769, rounded to 3 significant figures. It is a Siamese given that it is a male, which means that you have the probability of both Siamese and male divided by whatever is second. So the male is second, so probability of males. So we already figured out that there are 32 males altogether. So the 32 is going to go on the bottom. And Siamese and male, right? If you look over here, Siamese, oh, I don't know why it keeps jumping. Siamese and male is 4. So 4 is the number that goes on the top. And as a decimal, this is 0.125. Okay. So either of those two answers work for part 3, A3. For the next one right here, find the probability that 2 randomly chosen British Shorthair cats are both females. Some of you were like really close with this one, but you made like one simple mistake. So let me just go ahead and make some more room. All right, so since we're focusing on British Shorthair here, we want to find out this total number. So there are 21 altogether, British Shorthair between males and females. So we are looking for females. So there are 12 out of 21 females that are there. And if one of them was already chosen, right, because it says randomly chosen both of them, right? Both of them are females. So one of them was already chosen. So now there are 20 left, right? And 12 minus 1 is going to give us 11. So all we have to do is multiply top, top, bottom, bottom. And when you do that, this gives you about 0.314. Okay, so that is the answer for part B. All right, so for the next one, a lot of you got this correct. So state the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is that the two variables, right, which we're talking about, breed of cats at the show, is independent of their gender. So the null is breed and gender are independent. Find the expected frequency. So how you have to do that. This one was one question that I noticed that so many people got right. Wrong. Sorry, my bad. Wrong. So find the expected frequency of female Persian cats. So female Persian cats. So if we take a look over here, we want here Persians. Altogether, there are 11 Persian cats between male and female. If we take a look, so that is 11. Let me go. Where can I write this? Okay, 11 times the total number of, what we have to do is we have to find the total number of female cats. So the total number of female cats is 33. So 11 times 33 divided by the total number of cats altogether, which are 65. Okay, so 11 times 33. And again, how did we get that, right? So we are talking about female Persian cats. So there are 11 altogether, 11 Persian cats, right? So you do 11 times total females is 33 divided by 65 cats altogether. Okay, so 11 times 33 divided by 65, and that gives us about 5.6. This is about 5.6. All right, write down the number of degrees of freedom. Everybody got this correct. Awesome job. So it's row minus 1 times column minus 1. And so for this, it's going to be 9 minus 1 times 2 minus 1. And that gives us 8. So the degrees of freedom is equal to 8. Okay. Chi-squared. So all you have to do is take the calculator, refreshing your memory. I am not going to spend time doing this. If you get stuck on it, see me. But where do you put the numbers in? You hit second matrix, right? And then you go here to edit. And this is where you put the numbers in from the table. Remember that you do rows first and then columns second. Always rows, then columns. So if you take a look at the question that we have, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 rows, okay, and there are 2 columns. Remember that you do not include the totals. So 9 by 2, and you put the numbers in, and then after you put the numbers in, you hit stat, you go over to tests, and it's going to be chi-squared. All right, so again, like I said, most of you got this one completely correct, so I don't need to spend time going over something that you do seem to have a pretty good grasp of. And so the chi-squared value, chi-squared is 2.9. And that's how you would get the full 2 points. So remember that if you have the chi-squared value is greater than the critical value, you reject the null. Reject the null. And so for this one, our chi-squared is 2.9. We just found it. And compared to 15.5, the chi-squared is less than the critical value, which is 15.5. So we are going to accept the null. So we do not reject the null. 0. Therefore, breeds and genders of the cats are independent of each other. Okay, is our final answer for that. All right, so for the next one right here, this could be because you couldn't see the numbers, but I gave a lot of leeway in terms of how I was grading the next one. So if you take a look here, the number of drivers that traveled a distance between 3,200 and 5,000. So we are looking between 3,200 and 5,000 here. 3,200 and 5,000. And what we have to do is we have to go up. I would definitely use a ruler. This is why I passed out rulers during class, but you basically make a straight line. See if I can use the device. So 3,200. Is it not going to let me make a straight line? Okay. And 5,000 will go around. Now all I have to do is make this a little bit wider so that it matches. Okay, so if you look at this, 78 is what you would follow across right here. So this is going to be 78 minus, and our second number is it 3,200? So let me move this over a little bit. Not 3,200. There, and if I go up, that is going to give me almost 50, so I'll just call that 49. So 78 minus 49 is going to give me 29. Okay, so 29 is going to be our answer for part A. Then find the cumulative frequency curve to find the median. So the median is, we are looking to see this whole thing right here is 80, so half of that is 40. So if I look down right here, most of you got this one correct, so I don't need to spend too much time on this. The median distance is about 3,000. If you got anywhere close to that, I gave it to you. Our lower quartile, which is Q1, is going to equal 2,500 kilometers, and our upper quartile, which is Q3, is going to equal 3,500 kilometers. Interquartile range is you take upper minus the lower, so 3,500 minus 2,500 is going to be 1,000. So that's our interquartile range. Write down the percentage of drivers that traveled a distance greater than the upper quartile, so greater than the upper quartile. So if you take a look at that, so they're asking us for the percentage of drivers, okay? So if we remember in a box and whisker plot, doot, 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 you don't really even need to do anything with this, because you should remember that this right here is 25%. This is 25%, this is 25%, this is 25%. So greater than the upper quartile, the percentage is 25%. So that is our answer for part D. Find the number of drivers that traveled a distance less than or equal to 2,750. So we're looking at 2,750 on our x-axis, so 2,750. I'm going to go ahead and estimate where that's going to be about. That's about 3,000. All right, so if I look over here, this is about 30. So I could say that the number of drivers that traveled a distance of less than or equal to 2,750 is about 29, or about 30. That traveled no more than 2,750. For the next part, it asks us to find the value of M. All right, so they're telling us that it is known that 11 drivers traveled more than M kilometers. So therefore, the number of drivers who traveled no more than M kilometers is going to be the total number of uh, cumulative frequency of our drivers is 80. So we have 80 minus our 11 is going to give us 69. So if I look across where 69 is, and again, you want to try to be as exact as possible. I went ahead and did that. That is a little bit shy of 4,000. So this answer for the value of m is going to equal about 3,900, because again, it is almost 4,000, but it's a little bit less. Okay, for our box and whisker plot, so key thing here is it does tell us that to use graph paper, so and use a scale of 2 centimeters to represent 1,000 kilometers. So ideally you have your, right, here's your x value. We have 0, and then we have 1,000. We're going to keep counting up by 1,000. 2, 3, 4. Try to make this a little bit more evenly spaced. Okay, so this is 3K, 4K, 5K, and 6K. So our largest number, it tells us, is 6,000, and our smallest number is 500. So we're going to go to 500, and we're going to put our whiskers. We're going to go to 6,000. We're going to put our whiskers. And then we're going to find our, we already found it over here, right? Our median is 3,000. So we're going to go to our median, which is 3,000, which goes right here. Our Q1 was 2,500, so that's about right there. And our Q3 is 3,500, which is right in between. And then you connect the dots, connect the boxes, and then you go like this. Okay. So that is ideally how you earn your 4 points for the next one. All right. Almost done. All right. So what did they tell us? They tell us that 3 prefer drama only. So 3 prefer drama only. Boom. 8 prefer action only. So 8 goes there. All right. 5 prefer all 3. So I know that 5 goes here. 9 prefer comedy and drama. So comedy and drama is right here. So that's 9 altogether. So 9 minus this 5 is going to be 4. So that's 4 remaining. So there's a 5 here. There's a 4 here. So I dealt with that. 7 prefer action and drama. So action and drama is this right here. This and this. So 7 minus 5 is 2. So dealt with that. And the last one, 12 prefer action and comedy. So action and comedy is including this 5, so that's 12 minus 5 gives us 7. Okay, so I just went ahead and used the Venn diagram to represent the information provided so far. Next, write down the number of people who prefer action but not drama. Okay, so action but not drama. So if we take a look at that, action, oh, see if I can use a highlighter. So this is all of action, right? And we have to take out the people that prefer drama. So minus the people that prefer drama, which are these right here. So that is going to be 8 plus 7, right? So 15 people prefer action but not drama. So 8 plus 7 is equal to 15 is the answer for part B. All right. Next, there are 22 people in total who prefer comedy. So altogether, it's going to be 22 for the comedy. So that's including the 7, 5, and 4. So 22 minus 7 minus 5 minus 4 is equal to 6. Okay, so that's 6 goes right here. For the next one, find the number of people who prefer none of these 3. Right, so who don't prefer any of these 3. So we already have everything that is filled out right now. So there are a total number of 50. So 8 plus 7, right? 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, subtracted it from 50, right, is going to give us 15. Excuse me. All right, next, COVID. A person is chosen at random from the 50 people that were waiting in line. Find the probability that this person prefers action. Okay, prefers action. So if we take a look at it, we're looking for the total number of people that prefer action. So if we go ahead and add that up, right? 8 plus 7, let me go back. 8 plus 7 plus 2 plus 5, that's going to be 22 out of the 50 that prefer action. 22 out of the 50. And again, that's because 8 plus 7 plus 2 plus 5 is going to give us a 22 out of the 50. You can have that answer as about 0.44. Either answer works, 22 over 50 or 0.44. Prefers comedy and drama, but not action. Comedy and drama, but not action. Okay, let's go up. All right. So I always find it useful just to kind of fill things out using colors. So we had, just to refresh our memory, we had, oops, take that out. All right, so we had an 8 here, we had a 7 here, we had a 5 here, and we had a 2. Yeah, because 5 plus 2. Yep, okay. So prefer comedy and drama, but not action, right? So comedy and drama, but not action. So comedy, this is comedy, and drama, this is drama, but not action, right? So we have to remember that these two and this 5 prefer action as well. So we're not including that. So our answer is just going to be 4, right? 4. So there are 4 out of 50 that prefer comedy and drama, but not action. Okay, so 4 out of 50 is about 0.08. So either answer works. Does not prefer either action or comedy. Okay, does not prefer either action or comedy. So if we take a look at this next one right here, we're basically looking at, okay, so we already know that the number of people who prefer none of these is going to be 15. So 15 is um, just chilling out there by itself. So if we take a look at the question, it says we're looking for those who do not prefer either action or comedy, right? Let's see if I can make this a little bit cleaner for us. So we have 8, 7, 5, 6, this was 2, this was 4, this was 3, and that's 15. That doesn't prefer anything. So we're looking for does not prefer either action or comedy. Okay, so action or comedy is right here. So if we take a look, we're looking at these 3 people right here. We're looking at this 15 people, which are don't prefer any of them. So 15 plus the 3, right? Because 3 people prefer only drama. So we have, yeah, 3 plus 15 is going to be 18 out of 50 altogether. Does not prefer either action or comedy, okay? And as a decimal, that is 0.36, okay? Either answer works. And the last one, does not prefer action given that the person does not prefer comedy. So we have to remember for given, right? Does not prefer action given that the person does not prefer comedy. So what we're doing for that is the probability of both not action and not comedy all over whatever second. So here, probability of not comedy. So if we take a look at that right there, we already figured out that there are 18 people that don't prefer action or comedy, who do not prefer both. So that's going to be 18 out of, all right, so we figured out that the probability of, well, we figured out that there are 18 people that don't prefer comedy or action. We got that from this answer right here. So that is going to be 18 out of the probability of not comedy. Okay, so the easiest way that I can do this is by going to my highlighter whenever it feels like working. So this right here is all of the comedy people. So if I take the 8 plus 2 plus 3 plus the 15, right? If I add those numbers up, that gives me what my denominator is. So 10 plus 18 is going to be 28 people. So 18 out of 28. 28 is going to be my denominator. And that as a decimal is about 0.643. Okay, 30 minutes for this answer key, not bad.